Welcome, Mr. Mehta, and welcome, Mr. Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe and Mickey, if you can put on your video, that should be fine.
Okay, let me find it here. Here we go.
Yep.
Hi, Joe.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
मनोज सर, I think start कर सकते हैं ना वीडियो से.
I think वीडियो तो नहीं चला रहे ना?
No, sir.
I think
So,
चलाने दीजिए
should we
ताकि
wait?
we can start after that.
Yeah. Should we wait or because people are joining, still there are very less number, 32. Or should we start?
Yeah, वीडियो से start करिए सर, better.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome back. In the first session, we had many interesting presentations on various aspects of SuperTech Twin Towers demolition, which happened around 1 year back. And in this session, we will have a panel discussion, and we will be discussing about challenges and success of safe demolition. And some of the speakers have joined for the first time in the panel discussion only, and some were already there in the first session also. So we have around 90 minutes for this panel discussion. And what I will like that I will give maximum 5 minutes to each panelist. You can take 5 minutes maximum, and you can speak about what do you think, what were the main challenges in your opinion in this particular demolition project, and why you think it was a safe demolition. Why you think it is a successful event. So you have to speak for 5 minutes on these two aspects, challenges and why you say it was success in this. And you have to speak from your own perspective and your own domain. So not in general terms, but from your field of expertise. So I think I should start with Dr. Pradeep, then Dr. Pradeep. And after Dr. Pradeep, I think I can start with Dr. Kanungo. First, Dr. Pradeep. Maximum 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I think, first of all, designing the safe demolition itself is a very challenging thing. So it involves so many things as structural engineering aspects, and also how much charge to be used for demolition. And also there are a lot of constraints. This is not an easy open field where you can plant a small charge and then trigger it, and then it can be exploded. So many things. So compared to safe demolition, I feel designing of a structure is much more easier task than done. And also people who are involved in this entire job, they were putting actually, I feel their careers also were at stake. If something goes wrong, that would have been a black spot on their career in the years to come. So looking at that, I feel it's a very, very challenging thing. I wish to listen from the people on all these aspects. One is structural engineering, and then also the how to plan the charge, and also how to do the trigger and safety aspects of all the things, and also at the same time handling the perceptions of the people, because this is first time in the country. So how people would react, because whole nation was looking at this one. Many people, maybe a recent Chandrayaan, everyone was looking at that. I think many people, if not that scale, but definitely a comparable scale, was watching this one. Yes, I would like to listen to speakers on all these aspects. And also, like I was told that finally animals were also like there was a survey to check whether any cat or dog, anything is left there or in the vicinity. So all these things I would like to learn. Nothing much to offer from my side actually.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep. So you were saying that a lot of disciplines were required. It was a complex thing and of first of a kind in India. So it was a challenging. Yes, true. So
and also there's one point I wanted to add.
Yeah.
I was told that the police was very much particular to keep hold of Dr. Kanungo and his team. If something goes wrong, these people should not fly away.
Okay.
So that was also there. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Dr. Kanungo, what do you think? What were the main challenges from your perspective, and why you think it was a successful and safe event?
Yeah. So in the morning session, I have discussed what are the aspects involved, how we identify the problem in a holistic manner, what are the issues involved, what are the hazards or risks involved, how vulnerable those surrounding infrastructure or environment is. But rightly pointed out by Professor Pradeep Kumar, that the people's perception or taking into board the people in the whole process, that was a big challenge. Why we had approached we presented the whole case in a holistic manner before Honorable Supreme Court of India. Then what we did, in every process, we involved the representatives from the Ikorba as well as ATS village. All those 7 towers, the people, individual people have been involved in every aspect. We make them understand what we are going to do, why we are so meticulous about everything. It's because it's their safety, their benefit is there. Like they were living around 2,000 or more than 2,000 flats over those towers. So all the residents should feel that what is the condition of their structure and how the demolition, the impact of demolition can affect their structure, whether their structure can withstand that sort of vibration, ground vibration. What are the lacunas or present health condition of their structure, and then improving that with involvement of those people, like the columns, the beams, even some of the portions we strengthened in front of them with the involvement of those people. So first and foremost task was to take them on board. Otherwise there will be a lot of agitation and there will be hindrance in what Mr. Utkarsh has pointed out, to keep the timeline intact. So that was it, office job. And the other thing, the other colleagues will talk about the technical aspects of structural or vibration control, vibration monitoring, or geotechnical aspects. But I will stress upon that the evacuation plan is another major task. We have to ensure that each and every person is evacuated. Nobody is inside the campus. That in the towers there are canteens, there are other amenities, and as well as the people, there are older people, bedridden people, as well as kids. So we made a system that we will give a token to each of the family members, and then while evacuating they will hand it over to the security gate, and finally when they will ensure, then along with the police, I remember with Utkarsh ji, myself and some of my team members with all the police force, we are taking a round and checking each and every floor of it, all the 7 towers, that nobody is left behind. And by 9 a.m., because the instruction was that by 1 p.m. everybody should be out of the exclusion zone. Only the triggering team, those 4 or 5 persons, will be there in the exclusion zone or near the tower. So by 9 a.m. all the critical zone 7 tower people, they were evacuated. And also at the last moment, maybe around 12 noon, a team of PETA has reached and they claimed that there are stray dogs, stray cats inside this complex. So I will not allow you to demolish it. Then going along with them inside the charged building and floor by floor checking that no dogs or cats are inside the structure and ensuring them and satisfying to their conditions or norms. That is another aspects. And in this way, the administration has really helped us too much. They have arranged the hospitals for the elderly people so that they were shifted to the hospitals for a day. And people were given us option nearby areas. If they have some relatives, they can move over to their place, or some hotels are all around beyond the exclusion zone has been arranged so that they will shift to that place. So once this is done, and another aspect is environmental aspect I will talk about. Like we are telling to suppress the dust, because there was a news that 2.5 hours it will take dust to settle, but our estimation was maximum 30 minutes. And it depends on the wind direction. And in the morning half, the wind direction was different. And when we went for doing the implosion, the wind direction in the afternoon just changed. And you will find that in 15 minutes, all the dust were settled, and it was clearly visible from even the flyover, nearby flyover, what has happened in that demolition. And for suppressing the dust, Noida Authority has arranged, I think, from 50-kilometer radius, all the water sprinklers and water jets and whatever available in the vicinity, they have arranged. And we started the water sprinkling in the air 1 hour before the demolition, so that the environment, the air will be moist, so that dust will not spread too far off, and they will settle at those sites, at those places. And also we ensured with Noida Authority that the trees and even the greeneries inside those apartments should be cleaned just after the demolition with all fire brigades and all those things. And it was done by 4:30, and then 5 o'clock people started moving to their residences. And another aspect was there may be a fire triggering. So all the fire brigades, and they were, because there may be some charges or explosives which are not detonated. So maybe afterwards it may catch, and we were using geofabrics, so it may catch fire or that sort of thing. So we arranged all the fire brigades, and NDRF and SDRF team were deployed. I think 40 or 80 people of NDRF were deployed for this thing. So I think these are the aspects we could not present in the first session. So I would like to cover this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You made really very interesting points that public was made aware. They were more concerned with the safety of the structures and their own safety. So it was very important to involve them, to educate them, to make them aware, so that they cooperate, they do not agitate, or they do. Really, it was a very challenging thing, and I think you spoke very well. And thank you. So now, Dr. Manojit Samanta, will you like to say what were challenges and success from your point of view?
Thank you. As in the first slide, Dr. Kanungo has told that safe demolition not means the successful demolition of the Twin Towers. Safe demolitions means the demolitions safety of the surroundings also. Now, if you say the scale of the problem and criticality of the problem, that few of the things has been covered also that I am going to talk, that the surrounding structure, so much of stakeholder, the people that were living by the surroundings, their well-beings, the environment, and in the last presentation, Mr. Utkarsh Mehta has also told that so much of stakeholder to pull them along in the same direction is the main challenge of this task. And at the end, if here only the scientific person and the stakeholder are there, but there were the resident of the 7 towers, around 3,000 residents were there. Their well-being during that time, environmental well-being during that time, and then if any unforeseen incident occur, how to tackle that? That SDRF people, NDRF people, will Noida authority, all these were put in a place with meticulous planning. Just Dr. Kanung has told about what if the fire incident what happened. So NDRF people was there. Also, I was presenting that if there is something happens to the GAIL pipeline, for that also the GAIL and EIL put in place that how if there is some kind of leakage or some kind of bending, so how to stop that or how to do that. So that all these measures were put in place, and if you see the scale of the problem or stakeholder of the problem, it was so large, so pulling them in a same direction was very difficult. And at the end, it has been done successfully, taking care of all the concern of all the stakeholder, even from the point of view of the stray animals. That just has been mentioned by our director also, that we have taken care that their safety also. No single stray animal was harmed during this process. So that's why it is a success at that level. Thank you.
So who was managing this team actually, the whole effort? Who was managing on the front?
It was from the Noida authority. It was there was one person. She was the front. Then from the police force,
the CEO of
the Noida
authority.
At that time, it was
Ritu
Ritu Maheshwari.
Okay.
She was coordinating and helping in every manner, whatever support we require.
I saw her visiting the flats also. Yeah, yes, I know that.
And from our side, I was taking the lead role, being the disaster management person, and we assured in the beginning that all the experts like Simphar Dhanbad, they were not involved. It was told by Honorable Court that it will be CPRI to take but we demanded that we want the blast design, explosive and vibration control person with us. So we have a sister laboratory, and we roped in our sister organization, because it's not about doing things like that, but to be very meticulous in each and every aspect of it, whether it is engineering aspect, technical aspects, or public dealing aspect, or everything. And what my director has told already, that at the end, I remember all my team members with Utkarsh Mehta ji and Jigar Chadha ji and Joe Brickman and all those persons. The commissioner of police, he told his persons that you identify these people, and just after demolition they should be traceable. So that means you can see,
yes, sir,
and every department or stakeholder involved in this process, how much pressure they were tackling. So that's the thing. But in a nutshell, what Dr. Manojit told, it was a show where we pulled each and every stakeholder into one direction, and we showcased this success.
Yeah. So now, Dr. Devdatta Ghosh, what do you like to say about these challenges and success? When have you done any demolition before this, or this was your first experience? And if this was your first experience, then how challenging it was for you personally, this thing? Yes, sir. Sir, actually, it is not only first experience for me, for our team, it was the first experience. And that's why the thing started with worry. Like we are, in the beginning, we are thinking like we are not blast experts. Although we are geotechnical and structural experts, we can design, but undoing what is already being done, that is the challenge. Like building already been constructed, how to bring it down. And although there are experts, like it started with selecting the appropriate vendor who can do it, like evaluating all the bids we received from different companies, then finalizing ADFees and J Demolition joint venture as a best one, then involving Simfer in these. Initially, there were so many stakeholders, and in the beginning, they were not agreeing whatever we are saying, but we could make them understand like the requirement of reviewing whatever is proposed, that we could explain them, and we finally in the Supreme Court also we got the green signal. Whatever is to be decided, it is to be decided by us only. Then, sir, another thing was requirement of structural audit. Structural audit, I think, is very misunderstood subject, and people often don't understand that why it is required. In the near about structures are already damaged. You can imagine the strength is coming around 5 MPa, 10 MPa of that kind of buildings are standing. Even like we have a strong doubt whether a good earthquake can shake those buildings. So what about the vibration due to this large impact, which will be coming due to the fall? So there was our challenge, and finally we could convince CEO Noida that it is mandatory and it is required pre and post. And we have also given the procedure how to be done, like doing a survey to individual buildings, then assessing the strength, then strengthening. And we made sure like we strengthen all the building weakest elements. We find out after a few analysis, like what are the weakest elements in the build, all the surrounding building.
So did you conducted the structural audit of the existing building around that around those towers?
Yes, all the buildings in Ecorba and ATS village, we asked to submit the detailed structural audit report, check their design.
Considering the additional impact which they may experience because of this demolition.
Yes. So we have simulated the time history which will be generated because of the fall, and that same time history has been given as the input to the structural model, and weakest element were found out because of that kind of scenario, and those were strengthened before allowing the building to be charged. So because of some delay, there was some delay. Utkarsh didn't know that we didn't allow the building to be charged, because once you are charging it, then you are bound to demolish.
So you are saying you after audit you found some weak points and then you strengthened those existing structures also before starting the demolition of these towers.
Yes, even charging, because charging also takes around 15-20 days.
Yes.
So that was one challenge. Then one challenge was like gale pipeline. You just you'll be panicked, like that kind of huge pressure of gas is flowing through that passage, and that the gale pipeline is around say 15-20 meter away from the building. So 4.6 MPa was the pressure. So 4.6 MPa of gas pressure, you can just imagine if something, a small leakage also happened, there will be a huge explosion. So we were naturally worried. Then we recommended for like what is the way out. Then GL and EIL given us the design, like even after that kind of damage happened, what is the remedy. So it was made sure that if that kind of thing happening, they will be closing the gate and both the ends, and there will be the immediate repair. So repairmen were also present in the site. Not only the firefighting persons, they are also present in the site. Another thing, sir, I do also like to mention, like test blast. Dr. Brinkman, he must be aware like how much worried we are
after the test blast, because test blast was the evidences like we are going in the right direction. And in our case, we charge some elements of the building with different charges, different specific charges, and we observed in the test blast the results are not that satisfactory. So then naturally we were worried, and then finally the blast design were modified as per the test blast condition. I would also today like to hear something more about test blast from Joe Brinkman in this panel discussion. So after that, after we got satisfied, our SIMPA team helped us a lot in every evaluation of the blast charge and all. Then we thought it is going in the right direction, and 28th it was discussed. And during it is once of a kind, like during, if you see, it is not happening every day. And this kind of scenario is not only happening in India, in abroad also, it is a very key global event. So we wanted to capture everything in that. So we instrumented the building from outside also using thermal. We wanted to see like when the blast is happening, are we getting the signatures or not for our academic purposes and to plan the blast design in a better way. We deployed our drones from the near about buildings which are maybe 100-meter tall. So those were some new experiences for us, and it was a lot of challenges for us to plan all these activities, and finally it all came out well.
So are you satisfied whatever you did from a structural engineering point of view that was achieved?
Yes, sir. We are very much satisfied. Whatever we gave our all the best knowledge put into it and to make it success, and that's why we are very much satisfied, sir. Personally, I'm also very much satisfied because generally we construct buildings, but here our role is to bring it down. So reversing of construction is something to be learned, and we have learned it very tough way and very nice way at the end. So that's why I'm very satisfied.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Harsh Verma, what do you like to say about this?
So for me, this entire thing started when I got a call from Debu and Dr. Kanungo actually around 4 or 5 months back, somewhere in the month of April, I think, April 22. So given the expertise and understanding of the explosive materials and initiating devices, despite of all those experiences in demolition, the scale of operation in this particular case, it makes equally challenging for us also. We had a good understanding about the explosive, how it works, how demolition works, but once we saw the building, its heights and the proximity of other structures close to it, then for us also it was very, this was not an easy cake. Then we all discussed, and the whole thing started with confidence building measures from the local Ekarwa Tower residents associations. We had a meeting, and it was a good meeting. Those people, they trusted us, they showed a lot of confidence in us. So once it was done, then the next part was basically start discussing on the inputs from our geotechnical team and structural team. The Ekarwa Towers, the stand that was coming around 20 MPa, 25 MPa, something like that, and because it was hardly at a distance of 9 meters, so the vibration was supposed to be high. Then there was a call to strengthening the columns. That was one thing. So all those small preparatory arrangements were done. Another important was when we spoke to Dr. Joe, initially we thought that we'll go for electronic detonators because of the precision that actually is available with electronic detonators, and as more than 9,500 holes were there altogether. Approximately 4 tons of explosive was supposed to be used. So when Dr. Joe proposed that this shock tube initiation system is supposed to be used, and in such a short time it is not possible to customize the explosive and other requirement. So ultimately they took up a call, spoke to the solar guys, and then the final decision was taken on use of non-yield system. Then we had this another level of apprehension. You can understand, see, a hole, because this entire operation is such that it has to be pulled in certain direction. It has to be moving exactly the way, because there is hardly any margin of any deviation.
Yes.
Now imagine a hole which is supposed to fire at 500 milliseconds, it is firing at 550 milliseconds. So what may be the impact? So all those analyses were done. Exactly in scientific language we call it scattered delay time analysis. So all those analyses were done, and we could understand that the whatever scatter was there, it was well within the range, and we could understand that the intent that we want to pull it in certain direction as a level by as made a level by Dr. Joe. That also was clear after some time. Then we requested Dr. Joe to submit all the documents and the blast design and all those things. There were some issues related to IPR and all those things. I said, see, it will not be sharing or something like that, but to review anything, we need to go into the details. So thankfully, Mehtaji and Dr. Joe, they made our level every single thing. We could, Dr. Somliana and myself, we thoroughly studied every single thing, and we also have a confidence at the end of the day. No, see, whatever things that has been scheduled, planned meticulously, it's all in the right direction. It is going to fall in the right place. Then the next important challenge was basically the controlling of debris material within a defined space that is available. So in the basement, around 20-25,000 cubic meter of concrete was to be accommodated, and the important part is basically this debris material that is going to be a very good dampener for the vibration impact. All the material which is coming from the top floors, from second or third floors onwards, falling on the debris material, broken pieces. So from there itself, a lot of vibration dampening was happening. Then the disintegration of the load-bearing elements, that was another important decision that is of course done as usual practice. Then as everybody is telling that the apprehension of GAIL pipeline, operational GAIL pipeline. So for that also there was a very, very detailed analysis done by team from GAIL also, and they could actually tell us what is the level of permissible vibration that can be sustained. So calculations were made, the trenches were made, and on top of that those tires were actually also placed. So we tried to increase the factor of safety so that we are doubly sure about not happening anything wrong. Everything should fall in place. So those are all small things. And coming to the last day, I remember we all gathered at morning 9. Everybody was moving and putting their instruments. We had a plan, how the instruments will be placed, at what place, what time will be assembling. The team will disperse and then again come back. What will happen if something goes wrong about the collection of the instruments? Because we were not doing but that time actually. Ultimately some eventualists may always there. So those are all the planning that has done, but ultimately the conviction was the science that we were following, that was in the right direction. That we as a scientist, we believed in that from day one, and that has given us a lot of confidence. And apart from that, the coordinated effort, of course led by Dr. Kanunga and the team, those are the things that has actually helped each other, in small, somewhere, say for example, down the line, if somebody has some apprehension, then all of a sudden everybody else will join together and will try to disperse all those apprehensions. Well, no, this cannot happen because of this thing. If somebody says, no, this may happen again, then again there will be some counterbalancing from some other teammates. So those small things that kept going for the last days also. And I remember after a blast, when we reached the site, Dr. Karungo, myself, Dr. Joe, I think we all 4 or 5 people were there when we rushed to the site immediately after the blast. And after seeing this, it was a sort of, we were sort of crying actually, I tell you, to see those results. It was absolutely satisfying. And the kind of media coverage also, I tell you, we never expected this kind of media coverage is going to happen with this particular event. What we were doing is basically the way we used to do our projects. We used to go to the site, do sensibly all the analysis, and then to follow the things that that is supposed to be done. So in the same way, we also started in this particular project without expecting any other commendation that is going to be received from our senior colleagues from other institutes, from media persons, from the country people. So those things were the reward. So after hearing all this thing, what I understand is basically those lessons from Gita, you keep doing your job and ultimately the rest of the thing will follow. Right. So that is what exactly we felt. And
I am feeling that chemistry of you people were perfect actually.
Yeah,
that was the main thing behind this success.
Yeah. So that is all my experience, and I understand.
Yeah, they're very interesting.
It's a demonstration of a very good scientific effort, very well coordinated effort.
In between, many times we have given lot of pains to Mr. Utkarshji.
Yes.
I will come to
remember.
Utkarsh. I am holding him actually. I will come to him later, and Dr. Do also I will come later.
I still remember just 3 days before demolition, we demanded more than 2,000 old truck tires. And he told
I want to start something, sir. I want to talk actually.
yeah,
I will come to you. I will come to you.
Yeah.
But before that, I just want to take Dr. Suman Kumar. Are you there, Dr. Suman Kumar? We can't see you.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me. I will start from this is not only my first demolition project, but this is the first project in CBRI. I joined CBRI in 17th of January 2022, and just after joining, Dr. Diptita Ghosh has discussed with we people have discussed these are the projects, whether we can do something or not. So basically my background is modeling and simulation. So immediately I replied, I can model the collapse mechanism and blast and all those that. So when I started modeling, then I realized we used to model blast and impact problem for the blast resistant point of view, not for the demolition point of view.
Not from the blasting point of view.
Yes, sir. And when I have gone through the literatures, I found that very limited literatures are available which can model the failure pattern of materials in a very accurate manner, which we can accept. Even in the morning, Miss Kate has mentioned also, computer modeling is very at the very early stage of the development. It can't model the real demolition problem in many situations.
So which software was used for this modeling?
Sir, I am using right now LS Dyna. Basically, in LS Dyna, there are various techniques like FEM is there, SPH is there, and DEM is there. FEM itself will not model the crack pattern which will be initiated due to the explosion. Very large deformation, FEM will not be able to model. So we have tried to use some coupled method also, and later on I also find out some literature also applied element method, where they have published many papers where they have shown the collapse due to seismic event, collapse due to demolition also. But due to some certain restriction, we can't use that technique because that application is not available with us. So we tried using LS Dyna, using FEM and coupled methods.
So just like as we do in the real actual building design, we design and somebody do the wetting or checking, proof checking or something like that. So when you did your modeling for the first time for the blasting, so was there somebody else or some other agency who checked that or verified your model, or what happened actually?
No, we have tried to validate our models using the open data available in the literature.
Okay. Actually, the blast design and all has been made by Mr. Ju, and with in consultation with Edifice Engineering, and we cross-checked, like Dr. Harsh told, each and every bit of it, whatever science or principle or whatever is there, we checked each and every bit of it in an integrated manner. That's
okay. So before I go to the actual execution team, just I think there is one more, Mr. Mickey. I think you made the presentation regarding sustainability and those aspects in the morning, right?
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So just I want to ask you about the challenges and success. That is one thing. But another thing I want to ask you, when you are demolishing a building, such a large building, and you are, so how you can say this was a sustainable exercise?
Sir,
It created
here
lot
actually,
of construction waste, and now everything happened actually. So how you say that it was a sustainable, how you will justify sustainability of this kind of a demolition exercise?
sir, here I would like to say nothing in this context can be said in either it's black and white. We have to follow the middle path. Sustainability in the sense what best we could have done in order to mitigate the environmental hazard that is going
Impacts of demolition.
Exactly,
okay, you are trying
sir.
to say that impact sustainability in terms of reducing the impact of the demolition on the environment and other. Okay.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. So basically, although I have talked about the demolition, the sustainability aspects here, as we all are having an open and sharing pouring our heart out. First of all, I would like to in this context, I would like to express my wholesome gratitude to our past director, sir, N. Gopalakrishnan, sir, because of which I got the opportunity to be part of this. Next comes our group project leader for this, Dr. Devi Prasad Kanungo, sir, and Hars Verma, sir. Actually, sir, it is not only about the technical things. I had experience of I'll say 8 or 10 years of my job before joining this got the opportunity of working in this project. This project has taught, personally to me, how to take the challenges. Nothing in this world is not doable. Everything is doable only and only if we have a good team. As rightly, I remember each and everything from my seniors. What I would like to, I do not have any hesitation in accepting that during the course of this detailed deliberation meeting, one thing, the very good thing that Kanungo sir planned is for each and everything, he used to take the complete team in the loop. We used to go to Delhi. We used to have detailed brainstorming. In this thing, Hars Verma sir used to tell to do any great thing, people of 50 people, we need a group of 4 to 5 like-minded people who can do very challenging things, the things which will be which will mark our impact on the society and this thing. So in that, so these things I will carry all through my life in whatever projects we do. In this context, sir, I'll say, though I have talked about sustainability, basically I had a small responsibility of designing, developing, and installing the black boxes in the building. And unfortunately, the one thing that happened is we couldn't save those things because of the public attention and all that, and then those got picked up by people which are not supposed to, unauthorized to. Anyways, that is a different thing. But while designing that, it was such a challenging thing. We got and that was around 1 month of time to think, plan, procure, and execute. And I'm thankful to Kanungo sir, in which way he has openly, he has explored all the ways. At the same to our director sir, Anjan Ray sir, how to put that, and the challenges were enormous. Type of sensor to be selected, the current module, the communication protocol, the triggering mechanism. Till the last moment, I can remember, and one of my team member, he is not here, but he was part of that, was Sachin Kumar. He was an electronics guy. We all worked out of the box to make that work, and it was really a very challenging and life-changing experience for all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good. You very rightly said that team is important, right?
Yes, sir.
So very true. So now I would like to go to Joe Brinkman. Mr. Joe Brinkman, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So can you just tell us how you were associated with this project and what you think, how challenging it was in India, and why you feel it was success, and in terms of your other projects which you do globally.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me along for this this discussion. You know, this project really grew out of the work we did with Edifice in Kerala in 2020, where we did 3 buildings there also decreed by the Supreme Court to be demolished, 16, 18, and 20-story buildings. And to get back to your initial questions, the challenges, what were they and why is it a safe event? The challenges, I think I can rightly say that this was one of the most difficult implosions which has ever been undertaken. It was an extremely challenging one from a technical perspective. And the reason for that, or some of the reasons for that, is that it was a very physically constrained site. Very, very little space. Closest building 9 meters away. The Gale pipeline nearby, highly densely populated buildings, many, many residents, many concerns, extremely strong buildings, you know, being in a high seismic risk zone. So the level of rebar was the most difficult we've ever faced. That density of rebar with the stirrups holding everything together. The building would have stood on only the steel without concrete if you do the basic calculations with those stirrups. All the residents, all the different agencies to deal with and satisfy, leading right up to the Supreme Court, who were intimately involved right up to the end. Then we had CBRI involved, who were very particular, looking at the technical details. They also had to be satisfied. Then all the people to evacuate from the exclusion zone to make sure it was safe, the animals that had to be removed. So I think we can rightly say, and I would challenge anyone to go and find an example of a project for implosion which was more difficult than this one. But based on our previous experience working with Edifice, we knew that if they accepted the project, that we could work together to do it. And so again, it was extremely, extremely challenging, but that's what we live for. Our companies, Edifice and Jet, we only go for difficult projects. That's what we live for. And that's what we do. It's either work or family. That's our lives. And as far as the safety of the project, I think that speaks for itself. We carried it out without any structural damage to the nearby buildings. We had the gas pipeline and other utilities nearby. No problems. Most importantly, no people were hurt, no animals were hurt. And it was, I think, successful from all of the various perspectives, sir. So I think overall, it was an extremely successful event. It was, again, I believe, speaking without being boastful, it was definitely one of the most difficult implosions ever undertaken.
Are you doing any other demolition project of this scale or a similar scale in India?
We're not doing at the moment, no, sir.
Anywhere in the world? Anywhere in the other part of the world?
Not at this stage, no. You do not get these projects very often, sir. This is
a lifetime opportunity.
That doesn't come around very often. And that's why we were so excited when it did come around to have a crack at working and doing this job. So it's an extremely stressful project. But as it was mentioned in the previous discussion now, it's all about teamwork and working together, getting people, everyone putting their ideas and their efforts in and making it happen. The preparation work was huge. Edifice had a peak team of somewhere between 350 and 400 people working on this job, working double shifts. It was a big push. The Supreme Court says we'll do the job in 3 months. Well, it physically wasn't possible actually to do it in 3 months, but it was still done within 6 months, which was almost a miracle by itself.
Yeah, very true. Thank you. Thank you for these inputs. And Mr. Utkarsh, now I think I will come to you. I think you were the main person executing this project at site in Noida. I also live in Noida, and I have been to those nearby apartments of the unit, because some of my friends live there. So I have been to those places many times. So I know how challenging it must be. So in the morning, you spoke about the management aspects of this. So again, I will ask you same question. I know the managing and executing is definitely challenging. So what were the main challenges you felt actually while executing this project? Because you had all the team. Now all the technical support was with you, and everybody was supporting CBRI administration, and everyone was there. So what were main challenges, one or two challenges you can highlight in your opinion?
Good afternoon all. Like today, after a year or so, we are celebrating, we are discussing, we are in our comfort rooms and talking about the project. But let me put you that when 2 years back we came across this project, I would say that there are only maybe today I can confidently tell you maybe there are 3 people in the world, probably in the world, who can do this project. And one of them is Joseph Brinspan. There's a company back in USA named CDI. We are in touch with them as well. They only do projects of implosions. In a year, maybe 5 projects they do just of implosions. They have a hierarchy. I mean, they have a presidency of almost 60 years of doing projects, buildings by implosions. Probably they might have the tallest building on their name. We wrote to them that these are the drawings, this is the structure. We would like to go for this project. And we got a reply in one single line: please don't burn your hands. This was a clear-cut reply from him. He's a 70-year-old guy, a big guy in this industry. I would not say a top one, but at least one of the top 3 in the industry. Now, if you go back, this method of demolition is nowhere taught. There are no books to it. There is no school to it. This comes by experience only. Me and Joe had a 2-day of visit on the site. That was the first time when we visited. Second time I visited site with Joe. And he had 2 days of rigorous moving up and down. There were no lifts running, so 32 stories, he alone used to go up, go down, come up, come down. 2 rigorous days he spent on site. Evening, we had a glass of drinks together, and he said, Utkarsh, I can do this job. If you interest, I would be interested to do this job. And on backup of his confidence, when he told us this, we as a company decided that yes, we'll go for this. So this is a backdrop of where we started from. I would really appreciate, I'm getting this platform. I've never spoken to Joe at this front, but I could really appreciate if today we are being acknowledged across the India as well as globally now. It's purely because of this job and that acumen what he holds. Because this is not only knowledge on explosives, this is a knowledge on explosives, knowledge on structural understanding of a structure, rebar understandings, having that gut feeling, that confidence on his own self. We should really appreciate him. Though I would not take away anything from anyone in this room, we all had a role, a part to play, which we all played. Mr. Kanungo had his own role, Suman had his own role on the structural, Miki had his own role on the instruments. Everyone had played a small role in the overall activity. But the major role which was played was by Joe. and I would never be able to take away from him, because his confidence made us take up this job. And for those 6 months of preparation, he never told us that midway or somewhere down the line that, oh, this looks difficult, or this will be a challenge, or this, or he was confident on day one, and the same confidence we got after seeing the results. Yes, there was a couple of damages on the blocks and all, but that was of least this thing. I mean, I have his videos when he was pressing the buttons, pressing the button for the blast to release his stress. He was having a cigar at that point of time. Every one of us was stressed to an extent which was out of our limits. All of us. Everyone has its ways to release it. We know. I mean, even CEO ma'am, if anyone saw her, the moment the blast was taken, she went right to the site. She asked, what is the damage? She was told a couple of walls, this and that. She said again, what is the damage? So Kevin was there. Kevin said, ma'am, yes, the walls I'm talking about are damaged. She started crying there. So at her level, someone said, there were jobs at stakes, there were reputations at stakes, and nothing to take away from anyone. Today, if this project would have gone a little wrong somewhere, I don't know who would have been behind us, where would I have been, or my partner, or my company, or my family. So yes, as I started, we are celebrating the success, but there were lots and lots of things which were at stake at that point of time. And for all of us, I would not say for us alone, but for all of us. That's why we say it's a team effort. But I just wanted to highlight a bit on Joseph, because I know what he had gone through those 6 months, how he had taken decisions. He used to change few things. No one knows, probably we did not blast 25 columns in the basement. He did not allow us to put explosives. It was completely prepared. He said, I don't want to deploy explosives here. Let it stay. It was towards building number, those 9 meter away buildings. So he allowed those 25 holes to be as it is. He never charged them. Though we drilled it, everything was ready. But it was this, again, an acumen. When I said there's no book to do this, it comes out of your experience or your understanding of the explosives, your understanding of structures. It took a little support for prediction on vibrations from a company back in UK. So from day one, he was confident that neither the structures which were dilapidated next door, those 5 buildings in Ikorwa, neither the gas pipeline is going to be affected. He was telling me from day one, this is our internal discussions, that because I assure nothing will happen to either of these two. However, as engineers, we need to take precautions. We need to take utmost care, even if we are confident, but if we can do things which can mitigate at least our mind issues, we are confident that let it go there also, still those buildings would be standing. So we did all those preparatory works, the structural works, the strengthening of those columns. Now, when you asked me for my challenge, I can put it straight away. My biggest challenge was SuperTech themselves. I mean, that was my first challenge. And then obviously dealing with bureaucrats, all those 12 to 14 stakeholders, I had nightmares because everyone used to talk in a different direction. To get everyone aligned and arrive to a same conclusion was a challenging ask for me. I was nowhere involved in the execution of the preparation which Joe was doing it. My job sitting at site was to only manage this 12 to 14 stakeholders. If I'm called by a fire brigade, yes, sir. What can I do, sir? What else you want? How can we support? Disaster management, this letter work, Noida authority, debris waste, where it will go. So that was the only thing which I was doing. And largely I was handling the media. I was the face of the company for media and to the RWA people. I mean, I can still remember we used to come down at 9 in the evening, walk to our house, flats next door. There are families standing. Last 10 days or 15 days, it was like a selfie point. So, there were families who were staying in those 9 meter away buildings. with kids, they used to come and stand at the barricades and they used to see the buildings. And if you walk out, they come to you, sir, everything is fine. Do you think our buildings will not go for a toss? Because every money we've earned, we put this in these flats we bought. So tomorrow if something goes wrong, though it will be done, taken care, but it will take time and it is own efforts. So with a kid in their hands, people come and ask you because they know he's the owner, he's doing all these things. So at that point of time, I cannot show any kind of negativeness that no, I mean, we're doing our best. I cannot say that. I said, first we will stand on your 12-story building, which is next door, together and see the fall. I mean, I'll make sure that we both stand together there on your terrace and see the fall. So you please treat this as an event. There's nothing which is going to happen. Now, this is a time when people are around you. When I go back to my hotel, I'm alone. I used to cry. I used to cry like a baby. I did not have a family there. I used to cry, literally cry. What am I doing? Am I doing things right? Have I taken care of everything? When I told you SuperTech never supported financially, yes, I was in doldrums with SuperTech. We had to go to court to ask for the terms which are set in the contracts also. So if you go to court directs and then the next day you get your money. Otherwise, 2 months you just keep on following it up. We would have, before the blast, if I'm not mistaken, we would have spent almost 12.5 crores into the project. Whereas I had to get somewhere close to 4.5 crores, 4 crores from SuperTech. And my input to the project was 12.5 crores. Out of which even last 2 crores, it was a pain to me to remove it from him. Finally, me and Joe, of course, both of us, even they were bleeding, even we were bleeding commercially. But we now, since we have taken it in hands and we see what is going on everywhere. We said we don't see the money perspective this time. We'll see at the end of the day what happens. So we never look at money. If Joe wanted a 500 GSM cloth, he used to get a 500 GSM cloth. If he says I want 700, he gets 700. We never used to dilute his terms. Whatever he wanted, 3 mm wire mesh, 3 mm wire. We used to never ask him if I put 2.9, will it matter? If whatever he wanted, we used to feed him so that the project goes in the right direction. That was the only intention for those last 4 months before the blast, that we don't leave any stone unturned. Yes. Whatever it takes, we do it, and we are doing right. We were in right hands of Joe. Technically, we supported by CBRI. We had a couple of more consultants also on board. So Mr. Ramnathan used to help us, Mohan Ramnathan, and we had a structural consultant from Kochi who was helping us in vibration and structure analysis. So everyone put together, it was a joint effort. And finally, we were able to come out of it successfully. So when I said, for me, the biggest challenge was to deal with the builder and the authorities, because everyone was to walk in the different directions. They had their own goals. They had their own aims. And everyone is a bureaucrat. They would not risk anything. Their jobs. I can understand their position also. Why would they risk something for me or for the builder? So I used to face challenges. We used to overcome it. We will not believe, on the 27th night, we were discussing on the debris in the Noida Authority office at 8:30 in the evening. And Madam said, we will not blast because your plan is not approved. That was purely because the processing fees builder denied that I will not pay to the Ramgi plant. 8:30 in the night, I'm still unsure that tomorrow morning in the afternoon whether we are pressing the button or not. Then Noida Authority jointly took a conscious call that we have lots of उनके काफी पैसे बाकी थे, तो भाई और थोड़े बढ़ जाएंगे. You go ahead, because my contract clearly said that I don't have to transport it. Processing is there. So then finally my plan was approved, debris management plan by Pollution Control Board, and then we were allowed to take a call to take a blast on the 20th. So till 27th night, I was still in my hiccups. The other teams were preparing, everyone was doing their work, but I knew what I was facing, what heat I was facing. Finally, it happened, and today we all are, as engineers, we are proud of our own selves, each one of us, that we've done a wonderful job, which the world has looked. proud to say that we've been, people are acknowledging us when we go abroad. They know us. Oh yeah, you did the Twin Towers. They know us that, yes, these are the people who have done that.
So was there any moment during this period when you thought that it may be difficult to not, it may not be feasible to do this, or something may go wrong? Was there some fear in your mind at any point of time during this process? Personally for you. Personally for you.
Yeah. This question was asked to me by a press reporter at around 12 o'clock on the 28th. So are you fearing? I said, I'm not fearing. I'm really fearing badly. I have goosebumps on my hands. So if I tell you no, I'm not fearing. I'm not heavily hearted right now. I'll be telling you lie. Because it was not an easy ask. Though we've done all our work, we've not left even a smallest stone unturned, smallest. Like sir said, tires at the end of the day, last 3-4 days back, sir just requested us. He never forced us. Can we arrange tires? So said, yes, we can. 1 truck, 2 truckloads, we spread tires all over. So though it may not be of use at the end of the day, but yes, we tried to do everything, whatever it takes, if we were able to do. We never left things undone. Where we were confident that nothing is going to happen to this, we might be reluctant to do those works, but if we also felt there is a reason to be done, we never left it undone. We did everything. You will not believe, even we knew we are going to break, because of the air overpressure, we are going to break glasses. So the vendor for glass was ready on site on the 28th.
Yeah.
The moment it was done, he started going to houses, remove those glasses, measure it, started cutting, started replacing it.
Yeah,
So
it was a great event, and you did it successfully.
Correct.
So I have a lot of questions from participants, but before. Okay.
So one request, I have some pressing job. I have to leave.
Yeah.
So excuse me for leaving the
Okay.
panel.
Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So before I take questions from participants, I have one question to everyone. Anybody can answer actually. See, this is very, as everyone was saying, this is a very highly specialized job. It needs the input from various disciplines like structural engineering, explosives, vibration, geotech, and all those things. So you need all those kind of expertise. So is there any, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So is there any, I know there is no any such course or academic course or anywhere you can learn also all those things. But is there any research center or anywhere in India or in the world who specializes in demolition of structures, where somebody can do research or something, or one can learn something, where this kind of work is being done on the demolition of structures? Is there any research center or any institution or government laboratory or anywhere in the world? Do you have any knowledge? Anyone can answer it?
Mr. Mittal, it's Joe Brinkman here.
Yeah, Mr. Joe.
There is not any place in the world that teaches the technical aspects of implosions of this nature. No. The expertise really sits in the companies who have built up the experience and the knowledge in this specialist type of work. There's not many companies or people around to do this sort of thing. You know, it's not a discipline which is taught in university, right? You don't have this sort of subject being taught formally. So it's really a matter of, in my experience, finding the people who are truly interested, who spend basically their lives focusing on this sort of thing, who spend their life thinking about it. I'm actually on holiday now with one branch of my family in Australia. So in my spare time here, I still do work. On the plane flight today, I'm sorry I missed the first session. I apologize for that. I'm glad that Kate was able to do the talk. But on the flight here, the lady asked me, that's a nice drawing that you're looking at. Why are you working on the weekend? I said, well, I'm on holiday, but I'm still doing my hobby. So there's actually very few people who are in love with this type of work, and it just takes a long time. So to answer your question, no, there isn't any place that is focusing on research. It's a very specialized area. The computer modeling side, which was brought up before, is still at a very much immature stage. And that is because it's an extremely complex process. It's all nonlinear. It goes past the failure point very quickly. Lots of different elements, lots of different nodes. To describe it properly is very difficult.
Right.
The models that have been done up until this point really end up being empirical. And, empiricisms are useful, but if you look at the models in detail, you'll see that the debris profile on the edges where it really matters on an implosion like this simply aren't accurate enough.
Right.
And so people have asked me about modeling, and I've looked at them in good detail for years, but I haven't applied one yet because it is expensive, the model's available, and they haven't been able to help us do what we need them to do. So I think it is going to come eventually, but it's not there yet. And I think there's a great deal of effort that's still necessary in that area. But CBRI have shown lots of interest, and hopefully they'll continue with their efforts.
Yes.
They did a lot of work on this project, a lot of useful work, have a lot of good input. So hopefully they will carry on with their research now into the future. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, because now a lot of people are interested in learning these things now, because this is altogether new thing, and all of a sudden it has caught the imagination of all structural engineers and other stakeholders that this kind of a thing can happen in India also.
I would also like to add certain thing along with Dr. Joe Brinkman. Actually, in academia, there is no straightforward course. That is true, but there are certain companies who are using the software very accurately, like SeedAI, that Brinkman said also. And there is a method, applied element method, that is quite popular and being very successfully used earlier. And we are also trying to adopt FE-SPH based coupled solution. And that is predicting the scenarios very accurately. Like still it is in mature stage, you can say research stage, but still working very well. And another thing, this discipline actually is a marriage between mining engineering and civil engineering, because blasting and all we never learned. But when I was a student and I was in a classroom, and Dr. Barma was teaching me how in mining engineering, how they used to get optimum discharge from a particular blasting, like putting the charges in a particular delay sequence and getting out of those things. From that, when we take up this job, we immediately called him and said, sir, I will getting the similar kind of thing. Maybe our together effort can solve many issues related to the structural engineering as well as the mining engineering, because here you need both the thing. Like doing another thing also, I like to mention, like where taking inputs from Mehtaji. One thing you just see is during construction, we have margin of errors. Like during construction, people may use wrong materials. The errors margins are there, factor of safeties are there. But in the reverse process, we don't have that. Like if you use inferior material, your structure is gone. It will behave completely difficult. Suppose instead of 500 GSM, if you use 300 GSM, definitely your stones are going to puncture those elements. So therefore, margin of errors in the design, in demolition process is very narrow.
So now, since now CBRI also has some kind of experience in this area, and can CBRI think of having some kind of a short-term course or some such capsule course for professionals who really want to learn something more into this area? Dr. Pradeep, you can also answer this question. You are muted. You are muted.
No, definitely, we are planning to gather and put up something like a 3 days workshop on this one. So let us see how it goes.
Because this is a very interesting area, new
Yes.
area. Now people want to learn, they want to know. Now the Utkarsh is a hero. Now you people are actually hero.
Yes. No, I think I am sure in future, maybe in near future, there would be a Bollywood film on this.
I am sure there will be a movie. You have given a good idea now.
Because this is such an event where human emotions are there, and
Yes.
legal angles, society got involved, and technical people, all.
Yes. Okay. So now after this round, so I have so many questions. So I think I will take some of the questions one by one. So somebody is saying, Mukund is saying, please give a flow chart of all activities from planning to execution stages, including dates and time periods of each activity. I think this must have been documented somewhere, isn't it?
In some presentation also, I think by Dr. Devu's presentation
Yeah.
also, the
was
chart
trying
was showing
but
that.
data wise it was given, but not as a flow chart wise. It's a good suggestion. Maybe we'll try to incorporate that kind
And
of thing.
also if you see the timeline in the newspaper, that was also there.
Yeah.
If you search in the
But in any
timeline.
case, if CBRI can, some of you
Yes.
can make it, and then it will be useful to people. Yeah. So
Sure,
I think video people have already seen what was the decibel level during demolition. Yeah. Can anyone tell what was the decibel level during demolition? Was it less than?
Dr. Verma says?
I think Dr. Verma will.
Yeah. So we have extensive monitoring of air or pressure, what is actually the sound or noise level, what is talking about, the decibel level actually.
Yeah.
There is depending upon the distance from where you are monitoring, but I can tell you at some of the places close to the building, at the basement of peak or whatever, the air or pressure values were more than 142 decibel. And in fact, ATS 6A also, where some glass pans were also broken down, there also it was more than 140. But when we measured it in front of the ground, say the first one instrument was at 34 meter in the road itself, there it was 122 decibel, and then it went down. So by end of 200 meters, it has come down to 110 like that.
Okay. So there's one other question. I think same Mukund asking, were any cameras deployed inside the building to record the actual explosion on each floor?
No.
This was actually, we intended to do this actually. We wanted to install some sacrificial cameras so that we can see what exactly, the kind of firing sequence that has been scheduled or planned or designed. It goes exactly like this, or there is any alteration in those sequences. Unfortunately, this could not be done actually, but rest of the instruments, thermal imaging, camera vision monitoring, and other instrumentation we could do it.
But it was thought of.
It was thought of because of the internet connectivity, because it is just side to the road, no, and during the operation and during the blasting, you have to shut down all the electrical accessories, power supply, and all. That's why it was not executed, because it should have been thought earlier and planned accordingly. However, we deployed slow motion cameras, like high speed cameras, as well as thermal camera to capture every movement, every beat of it.
So there's another question by the same person. He's asking, is that this method of demolition by explosive can be deployed for low-rise buildings also?
Yeah, it can be deployed, but depending on the necessity, and there are so many factors are there.
Yes, but low-rise building, other methods can also be used. Yes. Okay, so then, did any adjacent building suffer structural damages? I don't think so. There were minor damages.
Minor damages were there only.
Okay. Was any explosive recovered which did not explode?
No.
No, and it doesn't matter actually for this
you
kind
cannot
of
use it.
And actually it cannot activate automatically. You need an electrical charge for that.
No, Devu, it's not like that. See, SAC can initiate it, but we did not find any
any that kind of.
Okay. how was the work of this magnitude was taken up without having any experience in the past? No, I think they got the experience from Joe Brinkman, I think so. They got
And also, you see, we have a ample structural engineering experiences,
yeah.
And as well as Dr. Verma, he's experienced, I think, more than 25 years in blasting and mining field. So that's why I said it is a marriage between these two discipline, and that's how it has been carried out.
Okay, was there any other method considered for this demolition apart from what was employed? Was there any other method was considered?
Yeah. Mechanical demo. Actually, when we got quotes from different organizations, there were robotic demolition method also. Somebody proposed like mechanical method of removing floors and all. But if you see the criticalities timeline that court has given, based on that, the implosion was suited. Like it was suited more.
Okay, so there's the one question from Sushil Dhawan. How did you validate your model analysis? So I think somebody has already answered this question.
Yes.
Have you published a complete project report on this project? Has it been published, the complete something? No?
Not yet, because
Till not.
we are trying for some international publications, still under process.
Okay, because if it will be published, then it will be quite useful to everyone. So how long you believe that it will take to publish a complete? I think you are talking about publishing a research paper or something in journal.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
No. I think he's asking, do you have any report having compiling all the data and what happened and how it happened and all the sequence and everything? That kind of report. I think that must be available.
We do have, but it is not usually
public
don't
Not in
put it
public
in
domain.
public domain. Yeah.
So
We
why
don't
it is
put
not
it
in public domain actually? Why it should be in public domain, in my view.
Sir, along with that, we are also researchers and academicians. So we would also like to report it first in the journals.
Okay, so you want first to publish in journals,
Yes,
then you will make it public.
Yes.
I think it is in the interest of the fraternity that you share this kind of a report or something so that people can learn from it actually.
Sure.
Okay, so then it is that the first time we are celebrating destruction? Oh, I think yes. Somebody
Sir, it's not like that. We are not celebrating destruction. What we are celebrating is actually
success of engineering.
Yeah, actually, that's what.
We are celebrating success of demolition engineering. We are not discussing or celebrating the demolition itself.
Yes.
We can also say, sir, deconstruction.
Deconstruction, right. Okay, so was there any ground shaking during demolition? Yeah, there must be some vibration too. That is okay. And so, Shobha, very informative, interesting, very hearty congratulations to all stakeholders for such a risky, wonderful work done so precisely and accurately as per plan. Okay. Has anybody done a PhD on this subject?
No.
Maybe there may be some PhD because papers are available in international forum. International papers are available, so maybe in some universities, not in India. That's for sure.
Sir, in India, by IIT Roorkee, there is an MTech thesis on demolition.
Yeah, maybe
That's
not
mentioned.
Professor Manish Agrawal.
Many universities worked on this one. Say my junior, because I also worked on applied element method, which you are mentioning. So my junior took up the simulation of blast of twin towers in New York. So yeah, mimicking that steel towers.
Yeah, so I think I have covered mostly all questions which participant wanted to ask, and there's two questions in chat box. What they're saying, it was challenging, and what was the? I think we have covered all the questions. So I think we have 5 minutes still. So if anybody want to make any comment on anything, can speak. Anyone, any one of you, any panelist. If you want to say anything more, anyone.
Sir, one thing I forgot to mention, like during this process of weakening the structure, we were removing actually lots of shear walls. So these CRO walls are weakening the complete building also. So that structure may not be designed for that. So that weakening also has to be done in a very structured manner, so that doesn't happen. Doesn't weaken the structure such a way so that it fall in its own weight, or during, suppose there is an earthquake or any type of shaking, there should not be any kind of collateral damages. So that is also another important aspect that we took care of. Like whatever planned weakening happened, like cutting the CR wall at certain locations, many locations actually. So that should not create another additional hazards.
Yeah. Okay, so one question I would like to ask in the last, and then we will conclude this session. See, as per the Supreme Court orders, these towers were to be demolished, and they were demolished. And you, as a team of experts, technical people, execution people from India and abroad, you all came together and did this very precise demolition work as per the court order. That is true. And we are celebrating that engineering success today. But personally, what is your take? Because the structure which was built, everybody of you saying that it was a very strong structure, very good, very well constructed, quality was good, concrete was good, reinforcement, everything was good. So, and it was all 33, 34-story building structure. So true, as per the order, it has to be demolished, it has been done. But suppose there was no such order, or what do you think personally, whether it should have been demolished, or should we have done something else? Because there was so many questions were raised after the demolition. People said, no, it was a sheer wastage of this thing, that thing, we should not have demolished it. Anyway, that is a separate issue. But
actually,
as an engineer, what do you feel? What is your personal opinion?
Sir, before anyone, because most of the scientists involved are from CBRI, I would like to jump in.
Okay, you don't want them to comment. Okay.
No, not that. It's the order of Supreme Court. I think.
No, that is okay. That we are not saying anything. That is okay. That is, yeah. Because there were so many articles and paper published in the newspaper and other places that this building could have been used for some other purposes or anything. But in any way, from engineering point of view, it was a very, very, very meticulously planned event, and I think everybody appreciated it without any damages, without any damage to any environment or something. I think this was a great event, and we made all very good presentation was made in the morning, and today in the second session we had a little different kind of a discussion, not that technical, but rather from other perspective we discussed, and also we took some questions. So, Dr. Pradeep, would like to conclude?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like, on behalf of ISRT and also on behalf of CSIR, CBRI, I really congratulate the entire team for showcasing this wonderful safe demolition activity, and also bringing in front of the August gathering. So, morning participants in the morning session and in the afternoon session. The technical discussions were very nice, and also a lot of insights from many angles, not only purely from structural engineering, but human emotions were also, and also the feelings what people were undergoing while doing this activity. For some of them or many of them, it was first of its kind event, because these kind of events will not happen every day, and I suppose it should not happen also. But as the progress is happening, as the space is required, I think many buildings will be considered for safe demolition for the construction of new buildings in their place, which are taller buildings. So that is going to happen. So I think this area will flourish, and I wish, and the people who are involved in will become definitely champions and are the towers of excellence in this area. So with this, on behalf of ISRT, I thank each and everyone, and also on behalf of CBRI.
Yeah, thank you all panelists for participating and making this discussion very lively. Thank you everyone for joining.
Bye.
Thank you.